I wish something had happened, an intervention had occurred, and I didn't have to worry about you reaching out to try and kill Miss Loomis, or break her nose again, or break her arm again, or do the things you have done again. Absolutely. Whoever told me that this is not how you rehabilitate people was absolutely correct, but that's not really my intention now.
Then he says he ran the victim over, ran over her ankle because she dove out, but he didn't bother giving aid right then. He had to drive around the block. But not to worry, he was devastated about the experience, or so he told probation. Not to be outdone, he then professes his love for the victim, expresses confusion as to why she would say things like this, and then calls her a liar. He cloaks himself in this image of a loving person who deeply cares for the victim and worked hard to keep the relationship going. But really, it was all about her mental health issues. He then just refused to discuss anything about the violation of protection order, but he does say he's being punished far too harshly and that he was forced into this situation here today. These are the statements of a well-seasoned manipulator, Your Honor, who cannot and will not take responsibility for his actions. It's worth to note that he has completed domestic violence treatment in the past. He has completed court order treatment for, I believe it was a DWAI, as well as DV classes in his other DV convictions. Not sure if that's because he just white-knuckled his way through that, but clearly those that did not take. His prior convictions, Your Honor, at least as it relates to DVs, there is a pattern, a history of violence and violence against women. In the 2008 M753, he strangled his wife, pushed and pulled her hair, bit her, disconnected 911, and then when she called for help, he immediately fled. In the 13 M724, fortunately that was too old, we could not get any reports. In 20 M342, the son had to call because he was assaulting his mother, and then at which point he struck the son. All of these with his previous wife, the same victim, Your Honor. Again, a pattern. So who is Mr. Vigil? Well, what we know is that he had no childhood trauma, no physical, mental, or sexual abuse. He said his household was happy and normal. We know he has a supportive family relationship and lifelong local friends here in the Valley. And he holds a high school degree. Does not have any mental health conditions or substance abuse issues. And he has successfully completed treatment before. He is unlike a lot of people that come through these doors, Your Honor. A lot of folks come through and their actions are at least understandable because of an addiction, because of poverty, because of mental health issues. For instance, an individual may trespass in the middle of winter to stay warm, who's homeless. It's still a crime, but we understand it. There is mercy for things like this. His violence, his abuse towards others is his and his alone. It is not contributable to anything else. We have the results on the LSI as well as the DVSI. He's in the maximum range, Your Honor. He's going to reoffend again. He's a high-risk domestic violence offender. And the next time he stands before this court, it will not be for a misdemeanor DV offense, or even an assault too. It'll be for an assault in the first degree, an attempted murder, or God help us, a completed murder. Let's talk about guilty conscience for a moment. Why tamper with your victim? Why would someone tell a victim to lie about what happened to law enforcement and the prosecution? Why would you tell them to say it's made up, or that you don't remember anything? Why say that a warrant will simply go away? Why profess love and a possibility of a future? And then, why try to guilt them into saying that they're responsible for sending him to prison and to think about his kids? There's a short video with, a short audio recording with the victim, which led to the people filing forfeiture by wrongdoing.
Because my concern is that, you know, he's trying to tamper with you, or he's trying to prevent you.
Drive me. I don't know. The whole thing is just really fucked up. I just can't go to this trial. It's just, everything is, you know, and yes, he's contacted me. I'm not responding anymore. So
Because yeah, my worry is that, you know, he has ever threatened you or told you to, you know, to lie or not tell the truth on the stand, or to not come here and testify.
yes, he has. Like, he hasn't told me, like, he's like, don't, he's like, he's even said, don't, a warrant's nothing. It'll just go away. Like, that's what he told me.
Oh, you mean if I, oh, sorry, go ahead.
If I were subpoenaed and I don't go, he's like, oh, I'm like, they'll issue a warrant for me. Not if I don't go and do this. And he's like, oh, a warrant will just go away, Christy. I'm like, no, it doesn't. So he tries all of that. And, you know, my counselor's like, do not even talk to him anymore.
Oh, wow. So he's told you, don't show up. A warrant isn't that big of a deal. Just don't come testify.
Right.
He had the victim wrapped around his finger and knew that a dismissal was the only option if we couldn't find her. That's why he gave her money. That's why he messaged her with thoughts of love, which slowly turned into manipulation, guilt tripping, and gaslighting, because he knew he was losing her and things were going worse for him in court. Of course, he knows how the criminal justice system works, specifically how it relates to domestic violence. This is his fourth conviction for it. He knows how hard it is to go to trial without a victim and that it will dismiss the case. You can see it. He stuck to his story so strongly on initial contact. He denied everything. He locked down his story. He was slowly and carefully removing evidence that could be used against him in an effort to get the case dismissed. Even now, here today, he won't take responsibility. He blames the victims, gaslights, deflects, dodges, manipulates. We've tried probation, didn't work. We tried treatment in classes. Clearly that doesn't work. We've even tried court protection orders, and that doesn't work. He could have killed Miss Loomis that night by watching her bleed to death if she didn't agree to lie. The next time he comes back here, it'll be for a more violent crime. He has shown zero remorse for his victim, has taken zero responsibility for his actions, and shown zero respect for court orders, the victim, and the criminal justice system. So for the charges of domestic violence, assault in the second degree, serious bodily injury as a crime of violence, the people asked the court sentence the defendant to the Department of Corrections for no less than 12 years.
Take all responsibility for my actions today. This got blown totally out of proportion to my family. I wish I could rewind back a year and a half, 2 years, but I can't. And I apologize for everything that has happened, everything that's transpired. I take full responsibility. I just ask that you might have a little sympathy on my life. I have a lot more to offer my children. I just rekindled a relationship with my daughter after not speaking with her for about 2 years. My mother needs me. My dads need me. And I have a lot more to give than what I gave.
All right, thank you. All right, so in this matter, the court did have an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report, review the criminal history of the defendant, read the statements, also did read the letters provided by the support system. Heard the statements today from Nathan and Dustin Behill, Samuel Matthews, Nikki Vincent, as well as Justin Rivera. And honestly, Mr. Behill, I don't disagree. Treatment is the preferred way to approach this. Looking at your criminal history, this started in 1988 when you faced DUI. You received alcohol treatment at that point. We then moved to 2008, I believe that might have been your first conviction for domestic violence against your wife, then wife. Again, supervised probation, treatment. We have a conviction in 2013, another conviction for domestic violence. Again, supervised probation, treatment, random testing, alcohol-related treatment. You had another driving alcohol offense in 2015, again, treatment, supervised probation. We then moved to 2020, another domestic violence conviction, supervised probation, treatment, alcohol testing, on and on. I don't disagree with what your support system says, but you have to actually make these decisions. You had control. In all of these instances, you had support, you had that in place, and you could have taken advantage of it to change your trajectory. You could have changed the place you are now had you taken advantage of that. The other thing I think is important is all these folks want to support you, think you can do well. I wish they had. I wish something had happened, an intervention had occurred, and I didn't have to worry about you reaching out to try and kill Miss Loomis, or break her nose again, or break her arm again, or do the things you have done again. Because some of the stuff that wasn't charged is your ongoing contacts with Miss Loomis, your ongoing attempts to get her to absence herself from these proceedings. This is domestic violence, and only you can stop your behaviors. I believe everybody that spoke on your behalf. I believe they very much think you can do better, but you're actually going to have to do it. You have to do it. You're the only one. You're the only one that can change it. And Miss Loomis, whether she is a terrible human being or not, she did not deserve to have her nose broken or her arm broken, and she cannot change your behaviors. You do that. In this matter, you are going to prison. The second-degree assault is a crime of violence because of the serious bodily injury, and that is a 5-year minimum mandatory sentence. So in 23 CR 131, what I am willing to do is just order that 5-year Department of Corrections sentence with 3 years of mandatory parole and 49 days credit. In 24 CR 97, that is the felony domestic violence based on the violation of protection order. And something I think is somewhat important is that you bonded out in 23 CR 131 on May 17th, 2023 at 3:30 p.m. The charges in 24 CR 97, the date of offense is May 18th of 2023. You didn't make it even 24 hours after being ordered by the court to stay away from Miss Loomis. That in so many ways illustrates the pattern that continues. And that's what has to be addressed. So at some point, the scales tip. It's no longer about how we can help you, but how we can protect other people from you. And that's what these sentences intend to do. Absolutely. Whoever told me that this is not how you rehabilitate people was absolutely correct, but that's not really my intention now. My intention now is to protect anyone you might choose to date from you, because it's not just Miss Loomis, but your ex-wife also was a victim. So it's not just one person and one person's behavior. So everyone's being protected from you for this time frame. So in 24 CR 97, you were on felony bond when that occurred. There was a protection order in place when that occurred. The court is going to order a 3-year Department of Corrections sentence that must by statute run consecutive. So that's a total of 8 years. On that charge, there is 2 years of mandatory parole. Again, because I've given you the full credit on the first sentence, no credit on that, that will be a full 3 years. The temporary protection orders in these cases run for the full term of the sentence. That means there is a protection order protecting Ms. Loomis for at least the next 8 years, but it will run the full term of parole as well. All right, Mr. Vigil, I do hope you can get something out of this, but again, the purpose isn't necessarily that. Take care, sir. Thank you.